Hello, everybody. It is time for another weekly update on our COVID-19 crisis. And I am going to do this one a little bit differently because I think we are at a pivotal week where we are going to start to shift from response to relief in our response, relief, and recovery zone. This is the critical week. We've now been isolated for almost a month. Our hospital has not become overwhelmed, and so if we can get through this week, if we can stay vigilant, I think that we can move into the relief part rather than the recovery. So that's our intention for this week. It's something that we need to have collectively and individually, and you need to take it upon yourself just as I am taking it upon myself. And so with that, I want to do this update with a little bit of gratitude because we are so lucky to live where we do, even now. First, I want to offer gratitude to private donors. We have had individuals step up anonymously to give what looks like will be millions of dollars to the recovery of this community, to those most in need, including our immigrant community, all the way from here to Parachute. So gratitude to them. Not many places have that. Number two, it's behind this camera, but I want to offer gratitude to our mountains and to our natural environment. My best friend is a doctor, a surgeon in New York right now, living in a studio. Can you imagine what that's like? We are so lucky to have a place of refuge to escape to safely, and so I have gratitude for that. Companies. We have seen the emergence of private enterprise stepping up. The Source is a great example. This is a collaboration between Dree and Mitch and Patrick, and they're working with all the food purveyors in our valley because they recognize there might not be a farmer's market, and they're starting now to deliver products locally sourced, local businesses, beautiful product that's good for the body right to your door. And they're just one example of people stepping up. So gratitude for that type of goodness and forethought. Gratitude for our mental health workers. The Hope Center is just one example of many, but they are daily taking calls from those in need. They're working with our emergency response. They're showing up doors, and they're dealing with terrible outcomes like a rise in domestic violence, which is sadly occurring right now. So thank you to those workers. Our IMT, incident management team. I know it often feels like not much is going on, but just 4 days after our first case, we had a state of emergency. And since then, our IMT team has worked diligently to get us information and keep our community safe. And they now have 1,000 tests in possession. They are rolling out the first mobile rig, maybe in the country, to do this, and they are really on top of their stuff. So we should have gratitude for them. Our wellness community, Lead with Love, one great example. Not only are they doing weekly wellness calls to keep us connected as a community, they're also doing trainings daily with our emergency response workers, our city, our county, our health officials. They're keeping them healthy to keep us healthy. So gratitude for that is well in order. This isn't done because this is how awesome our community is, even at a time like this. So stick with me. And I ask you to reach out and say thank you to these people. Our hospital, if you haven't noticed, the world is blowing up, essentially, in response. And yet, we have not yet hit over 50% capacity one day during this crisis. And if there is to be a second surge, we have plans in order to expand beds and other necessary facilities. So immense amount of gratitude to our hospital and our hospital workers and administrators. Gratitude to the volunteers out there. not just the kids that are stitching masks, which they are, or the food bank workers, but a special shout out to Greg Shafrin and Leah Fielding, who have been building the Good Neighbor volunteer app, which hopefully next Monday will go live, but it will be a valley-wide platform to connect those in need with those who want to help. And we can thank our community for doing that, and Aspen Community Foundation for providing the place for that to land. Next, I want to offer gratitude to our county commissioners. Take a second to realize that we were the first in the state to have social distancing. We were the first in the state to have a stay-at-home order, and that's part of why we have not seen the surge yet. That and your choice to follow through on those activities. So, County Commissioners, thank you for taking the lead, for taking bold action, and for continuing to do so right now. Next, unconventional but landlords. We're working with local businesses to make sure that this crisis doesn't kill our economy. And landlords, the big guys, I won't name names, but they are stepping up and are willing to reduce rents to the tune of, in many cases, what cost them $1 million or more per month. So I know that sometimes it's easy to see them as the evil empire, but right now they are stepping up because they are part of this community too, and many of them for over half a century. So gratitude to our landlords who are working with us on these solutions. Business owners, tens of them are stepping up with tens and tens of hours of their own time to help us solve this problem. People like Michael Goldberg from Belly Up, like Candace Carpenter Olson from Local Coffee, they're leading our effort to recover, and not just recover, but do better. So thank you and gratitude to all of you. I want to offer gratitude to our city council. Last night we approved $6 million, an initial $6 million towards recovery. And what I really appreciate and have gratitude for is not just the dollars, which will support everything from individuals to business to testing, but it's the long-term perspective. It's a recognition that this isn't about today, this is a long-term issue, and we need to invest now in the long-term success of our community. So thank you, gratitude to City Council. And the last and the most important thing that I have gratitude for is our sense of community. I mean, think of the 13 things that I've just listed. I don't know another place in the world that's doing all this. I hope that there are many. I don't know about them. And we're doing it from a sense of, I've got your back, you've got mine, because we're in this together. We both get to enjoy the bounty of this wonderful community, and in times of need, it's our responsibility to give back what we can. So for that, I just have the utmost gratitude. And with that, we will move to next steps. What does that look like? It looks like the deployment of testing, which hopefully will start as early as this Friday. The goal of that testing, which will be 100% free to all, is going to be to get an understanding epidemiologically of where our community is, where we have been, so that the next rounds of testing are well informed to help us begin to reopen, which is the next step. It's not now, it won't be immediately soon, but we're doing that planning now, so we can have not just a reopening of our economy and our normal lives, but a safe one. Because an Aspen that becomes a safe haven for a world that has not taken the steps we have, leaves ourselves vulnerable to a second or third spike. We need to remember that it took just one person showing up here to start all this. It can take one again, and it's going to be a unified effort between testing, contact tracing, isolation, social distancing practices to get us back on track, and we can and will get there. And so I ask and I finish with the request for you to do your part. You have been. I know you have, because that's why this is working. It will not continue to work unless you do. So please let us offer gratitude for everyone I've talked about today. Do your part and we will get through this, Aspen. I believe in you and I'm thankful for you. Till soon.